Good morning. This week I've been telling you about how back in 1996, Marsha and I had the opportunity to go to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to be a part of the World Council of Methodist Churches. It's an event that happens about once every 5 years at different places around the world where all kinds of Methodists come together. British Methodist, United Methodist, the African Zion Episcopal Methodist, the Free Methodist, you name it. We all come together to recognize our Methodist heritage and to live up those expectations of John Wesley to truly be involved in mission in the world. We want to talk about mission. Marsha and I had gone a week early so we could have a little vacation and see some of Brazil. But then we came to Rio. It was time for the conference. It was a credible place. The traffic was like none I've ever seen. You would be driving along, there'd be 8 lanes of traffic in a road that was designed for 6 lanes of traffic. But there'd be 8 across. You'd come to a red light. Going through was fascinating. We went to the beaches. Ipanema Beach. Oh my goodness, incredible. Copacabana Beach, unbelievable. We stayed in a hotel right down on the water, right near the edge of the beach. A lovely hotel. But right across the street from the hotel was a favela. The favela is a place of incredible poverty. They have them throughout Brazil. These favelas all around Rio for sure. And it's like poverty you and I have never even seen. And I tell you, it really wore on me that during the day I would go to these conference rooms and then I'd go to a buffet for lunch or dinner, all I could eat. And I'd look across the street and see this favela. I almost wondered if they did it intentionally so that we would understand the haves and the have-nots, what we had in this world and those who had so little. We were there to talk about mission. What could we do? Well, one of the days I went to a group that was going to deal with missions, and we then broke into small groups to be able to talk with one another. There was a lady there from Africa. There was a man from the United Kingdom. There was a woman from Australia, another man from the United States. But we were all in this little group together, and we were supposed to get to know one another and share and talk about missions or things that we were doing. And it was really inspiring. And when we got through, we got back together as a big group, and then there was a person who would give a speech, and man, it was incredibly inspiring. So much so, when he got through, I was ready to storm the gates of hell with a squirt gun. I was ready to go out into the world and make a difference. He had us. And then he said, I tell you what, I want us to take up an offering, a significant offering, to make a difference in the world. I want you to get out something now. Open up your billfold and get out your gift. Now, that meant there was no MasterCard. It had to be just whatever cash you had on you. I noticed the man beside me open his billfold, and he got out several $50 bills and started rolling them up. I looked in my wallet and got out some money. Everyone else was doing the same. And I thought, this is going to be a good offering. And then the speaker said, when you come here to this Brazil, to the gathering for World Methodist Churches, we're only allowed to take up 2 offerings. And this isn't one of them. We don't want to nickel and dime you to death. But what I want to ask is, whatever you took out of your billfold, would you put it back in, take it home, and then make sure you give it to some organization, to some person, in some way that you know you're going to bless life and make a difference somewhere around this world. We opened our billfolds back up to put our money away, but I noticed the man beside me open up his billfold and he took out a couple more 50s. He rolled them into a wad. We stood and we sang a song. And then I saw him turn to the woman beside him. It was the lady from Africa that we had been visiting with. And he handed her the money and he said, would you do me a favor? Would you take this home to your church and put it in your offering plate? I would love to be able to do it, but since I can't be there, would you do that for me? She looked at that money and she just started to cry. Tears were streaming down her cheek. Thank you so much. Thank you. You don't know what this is going to mean. I thought, that'd have been a nice gift back home in the U.S., but it's going to be a really nice gift somewhere in Africa. We got through with the song. He pronounced the benediction. I then turned to the guy next to me and I said, that was really a cool thing to do. What a great thought. I mean, what a blessing that's going to be for the people there in Africa. And he said, yes, I hope it is a blessing for them, but it's already been a great blessing for me. I understood what he meant. I know exactly what he meant. When you reach out and share love, you're going to bless somebody, but you're going to feel that blessing as well. After we shook hands, I ran to find a lady and give her my money too. I know what it means to feel blessed because you give and bless the life, and you do too. Right now, you and I live in this crazy time. You know, I really don't care for watching the news when you hear about all these crazy politicians and all this talk of running each other down. We're hearing all about hurricanes hitting the coast, and it is so important. And yet the devastation is going to be tremendous. We hear about the racial inequality and the protests. I want to know what's going on in the world, but I got to be honest, it's easy to depress your spirit. But just know your spirit doesn't have to be depressed. You can know joy. The power is within your hand. You have the ability to look around, to see someone who is in need, and to reach out and to share and to bless their lives. You know, that's what we were doing this last weekend, was Stuff the Bus. And as so many people came by dropping off their school supplies and dropping off their checks, every single person had a smile on their face, and we were laughing and talking. There is joy that comes when you know that you want to bless the life of somebody else. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. And I hope you stay committed to sharing God's love and bringing hope in this world. And just know in this crazy world, you still have the power to know joy when you choose to love your neighbor. No exception. Have a great weekend.